I'm just going to bring the chat up, guys. Right, so I can see the chat now. Right, there we go. Welcome to the stream. So now I can actually see the live chat as well. I had to log into another device. Like I said, it's all new to me. I should have probably prepared a little bit better before I tried this, but because I was trying to do like a screencast on the iPhone and that was just a nightmare, but Android just seems so much easier. So welcome back, guys. And we'll get more to the better stuff because I was sort of wobbling on about a load of rubbish. I do like they've put the Mundus Stone on the actual character sheet as well now, so you can see if you've got a Mundus Stone equipped or not, rather than going down all the buffs. You can just see it right at the top. I think it's near the attributes, which is really, really nice. Reaper Strikes? I don't remember reading this. New Worm Cult themed encounters. I do not remember reading that. Also get into the sets and stuff. I want to look into the sets again, see if I've missed anything, as I've only sort of glazed over the new sets. I'm not really seeing anything that sort of stands out as much. Strange new devices known as Soul Reapers have begun to surface across Tamriel, so that's going to be across every zone. Engage in these events to rescue their sacrifices. Successfully completing Reaper Strikes will unlock the ability to purchase a unique furnishing. So Reaper Strikes. Keep an eye at locations where dark fissures once appeared throughout the base game. So that's nice, they're adding something sort of with the main sort of zones. I didn't even really notice that. So I suppose it's sort of like when you're in the normal zones and you're sort of just walking about and you just get sort of like it's like a mini dolmen as such, and it just sort of appears, and then you just sort of like fight just like 5 or 6 mobs, another little 5 or 6 mobs, and it's sort of like a little heavier mob, and then you fight them. So there's going to be like that sort of style by the sound. How did I miss that Reaper Strikes? I do not remember seeing that. I remembered seeing that probably where the crime wave was just below it, and I'll jump straight on that because I'm a big sort of stealer and stuff, you know, in the game. I like the thieving side of the game. Good way to make gold. Let me know in the chat, guys, if my voice is all right. And I can see the chat now because I've got another device going as well. So if you just drop a hi, just so I know it's working okay, and then we can continue. Yeah, the crime wave event is going to be quite good though. Let me know if my voice is too low. Well, it's always too low. If my voice is too quiet, should I say? But yeah, today is going to be where they're going to be dropping the new patch notes. So there's going to be a little mini update. I'm hoping the Vengeance is going to have something nice on it. I mean, the console add-ons, first stages of console add-on support is going to be massive. I know this is sort of like old news, guys, because obviously the update 45 patch notes were a few weeks ago, and we're sort of well into it now. So it's nothing sort of too new. But I just want to sort of go into a little in-depth guide or just in-depth discussion about it. And if anyone wants to point out anything they're not sure, I'll see if I can look into it. I can't see they're going to be putting all add-ons just like PC. There's going to be some limitations, I would have thought. I know that you've got to have the next gen. Please note that console add-on support will only be for current gen consoles, as they can support the memory limitation needed. I mean, that's fair enough. You know, it did annoy me a little bit because I've only got some of the older consoles, but I do have the newer one as well, so it's not a massive make or break for me. And like I said, you can't stop progress. So if to get add-ons, if you need the next gen Xbox, is that really too much to ask? Probably not. So with Cyrodiil, the containers for the item sets Oakfather's Retribution and Blunted Blades and Bandar's Blessing are currently showing the wrong item set tooltips. I did not even know that. Prologue quest. Wait, what does that say about Berserker Strike? Oh, the following. That's going to be. I didn't notice as well. This is going to be massive as well for a lot of ganking. The following abilities will now actively remove stealth and invisibility upon them when activating them rather than when they complete. So that's going to be massive for ganking because, oh, what? They've always got to touch my ganking. I've had some really good builds come in as well. So the second you press it, it's going to reveal you. So I've done quite a few builds with the Berserker Strike, Dawnbreaker, and I mean, Soul Shred not as much. I didn't use that as much. The Death Stroke and its morphs. That's going to have an impact. So I'd like to see how that's going to play out on PTS. I'll probably have to test that actually because I've done quite a few ganking builds with like two-handed ult. So if that's going to reveal you before it completes, is that going to be a make or break for the ganking? That could be a make or break. Drop the stream a like, guys, and say hi if you want, or if anything I pick up on that you've not picked up on. Like I said, I have seen these patch notes before, but I've not sort of read in depth. I'm just picking up stuff that's sort of note and that's interesting that I might have missed. But yeah, so they're sort of nerfing ganking, to a degree with these certain. I don't know why they've just attacked these certain things though. Berserker Strike, I mean, it is super powerful to be fair. The Dawnbreaker, I suppose I did use it. It's more heavy attack, wasn't it? Really, so heavy attack into the ultimate. So I suppose you'd already be revealed. So I'd have to actually check those on the PTS just to see how are you revealed instantly because it says that. They're going to hard code some stuff. That's probably just to make things run a bit smoother, which is fair enough. Class abilities, they didn't really touch those. I don't think it was more just sort of minor stuff. Yeah, there's nothing too crazy here. Oh, the sets. I mean, like I said, this probably has been covered in other videos, but I'm just going to look at it again anyway. The Unleashed Ritualist, they've changed some of the stuff to more spell. That one's got from Magicka to weapon damage. The Relic one was, I know, was a bigger one. Apparently, people are saying that the Relic one might be better in PvP now. But I don't know if it's going to have a slight effect in PvE because it's one of the best sets in PvE for DPS, the Arms of Reliquin. So, but it does get used in PvP. It does get used. Um, but yeah, it's becoming like more sort of they changing it so they're getting rid of the critical chance and it's going to weapon and spell damage. I wonder if I turn my phone, will it actually change the orientation? Because if it is so, then I might keep it like that. See if that's any better. No, whoa, that's worse. That is definitely worse. Right, I'm gonna go back. Go back to normal. Yeah, so the arms of Reliquin, yeah, might be more stronger. It's also giving, yeah, they get rid of the critical chance and there's more penetration, there's more weapon and spell damage. So it is going to be quite useful in PvP. I've seen a few builds, I've been hit with Reliquin. It is a bit niche, but it is quite powerful in PvP. And I think this is going to lean towards it being a bit more powerful. So that's definitely something there. Changing the destructive mage. I'm trying to think what that is. Two piece. is going to go to weapon and spell damage rather than magicka. It's not a massive thing. Why they're touching the Way of Fire and Poisonous Serpent, I like those sets, and they're just being attacked. Not massively, but the Way of Fire is a little bit not as good now. Way of Fire, the set now activates off light and heavy attacks rather than any weapon attack. Like I said, it was a bit overtuned to be fair. Still usable, but definitely not as strong because it's just not going to proc off like rending slashes or something. So it was being a little bit abused. What is going on outside? There's just some rumbling going on. Every time I do a video, there's always something going on. Poisonous Serpent, again, I don't think that was overly used, that set. So why that's been attacked, again, they seem to just like, some sets like, the Way of Fire, they are overperforming, but they're not hugely seen as much anymore because the meta has obviously shifted away somewhat. But it's very interesting to see that they just sort of attack one individual set. And was Poisonous Serpent really a problem? I mean, I'm pretty sure that was a PvP set. Hopefully you can see the chat, guys. Where's the other set? So this set felt like a weaker version of the Way of Fire, dealing the same damage with more requirements. As such, we were reworking it. Right, the dungeon sets. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Vandor Relen's Resonance. See, dealing damage. When I say that with a fully charged heavy attack, I'm like, oh, could this be something good? But I mean, yeah, I did test this on the PTS, I think, about a week ago or two, and it does that electric charge on the ground. After 1 second, both charges explode in a 4 meter blast, but I don't think the damage is really that significant. But it does occur once every 6 seconds, so it's got a reasonable uptime, whereas I think the other one doesn't have a great uptime. Duren Size Blade Storm. While in combat, casting an ability that leaves an effect on the ground creates a 6 meter spike vortex that deals physical damage over 5 seconds to enemies inside it. I mean, it sounds nice. I mean, it's probably fun to use, but that's the problem with a lot of these sets. I don't think they're going to be like meta or optimal. And it is a bit strange. Normally, when they're selling like dungeon packs, they usually make a set that's a little bit cheesy, a little bit over the top, just to sell it basically, for the PvP side of things. Obviously, PvEers are going to love a dungeon pack anyway. I'm a PvEer and PvPer, so I'm not really fussed either way. But if you take a look at, say, last year with the dungeon pack that come out, the big set was the Tarnished Nightmare. Everyone was just buying that dungeon pack just to get that set. So you can see, and then they nerf it, of course. It's got a delay now. It's got a 2 second delay. It's still a reasonably good set, but it was just like bottles cracking all over the show. It was just absolutely everywhere, wasn't it? Mate, can they go away? Because they're making a bloody lot of noise. Every time I do a video, there's someone outside banging and crashing. Right, so the next one, Lucilla's Windshield. Blocking 3 attacks within 10 seconds creates an 8 meter windshield at your feet for 10 seconds. Enemies within the area gain minor brittle. That's not too bad. Could have spiced it up and made it major brittle. That would have shook things up a bit. Increasing their critical damage taken by 10%. So I can see this working well on maybe a Warden. While you're within the area, you gain major protection, reducing your damage taken. So that's nice. This effect can occur once every 7 seconds. You can only have one windshield active at a time. Yeah, I think that should have been probably, to spice that up, they could have put major brittle on it and then the major protection. Might have been made it a little bit too strong, but it definitely would have made the set more appealing. The Monster Mask. The Monster Mask is just a strange one, guys, aren't they? The Squall of Retribution. So it's going to add a line of health. When you take damage, you're going to gain one random effect for 6 seconds. So it's sort of like a random buff thing. It's giving me vibes of um, the Daedric Trickery, but obviously not as much to pick from. And I think I checked this on the PTS. You gain minor protection, which is that's very easily sourced. So that's not great. It's only reducing your damage take. That should be major protection, I think. That would be a bit spicier. And you gain a damage shield or you gain a heal. So that's the three things. You can either gain minor protection, gain a damage shield, or you can gain a heal over time. Like I said, the minor protection is useless. The damage shield's okay. Gain a heal over time that scales every 2 seconds. And it scales off your max health. So this could be abused if you push the max health, to a crazy degree. You probably could abuse this a little bit. But again, it's cycling, so you might get minor protection. You might not get that heal over time. You might not get that damage shield. I think if they remove the minor protection or put major protection, this could definitely be quite a strong set. But as it stands, if you keep getting the minor protection and you're not getting the heal over time, but like I said, I probably will try this on a build, to be honest, because of the heal scaling off max health. Like again on a Warden, it could be quite nice. Optimal, I don't know, but it could be useful in PvP. I think the other monster set is not as great, but we'll check that. The Fledgling's Nest. So while in combat, casting a beat leaves an effect on the ground, creates an 8-meter griffin nest. So is this aimed at Walden? You and your group members gain magicka and stamina recovery, so it's just like a support sort of set. They also gain minor courage. That's not quite as easily sourced, maybe. But again, it's an okay set. It's just a support set essentially. And this set coming up, the Noxious Boulder. This one I have tested again, and it does a cool animation. It just does some giant boulder that just explodes and does poison damage. So again, when I see that dealing damage with a fully charged heavy attack, I'm like, that sounds good. But I know what the deal breaker on this is, unfortunately, just by looking at it. Even I don't know why I even tested it, to be honest, because I know what the deal breaker is. So it's gonna when you deal a fully charged heavy attack, it's going to create a 3-meter poison boulder. It's a massive boulder as well. And after 1.2 seconds, it rolls forwards. There's a delay, which is not great. It's going to deal poison damage and a 6-meter pool of poison for 5 seconds. That's fine. It applies the poison status effect, which is also nice. But the problem with this set is the 20-second cooldown, and that is just far too long, guys. I think that should be like, yeah, 10 seconds. It sounds reasonable. If it was like 6 or 7 seconds, it might be viable on a DPS heavy attack pass. It still passes okay. I think I did do a pass on it, but again, in no way, shape, or form is that optimal. Could be fun in PvP though. Might definitely do a build on that, but it's just a 20-second cooldown is a bit crazy. I think they're always scared to buff heavy attack sets and just in case the damage just creeps far too high. But everyone drop the video a like, guys. Let me know if my voice is okay. And drop a hi in the chat if you want to know anything about the PTS, what I'm going through. I'm just going through the main update 45 patch notes. I know I'm a little bit late to the party. I just thought I'd go over it again because I've not really gone through it in depth. I'm just sort of looking at sets and stuff. Also, the new one is dropping today as well. I might do a live on that if I know the chat's working, because I'm not 100% it is working. Yeah, but I know my voice sounds okay, I think. So the next one's a heavy set, Heroic Unity. Activating the synergy gives you and your group 3 members within 12 meters major heroism So that's going to be quite strong in a group sort of style. Obviously, the major heroism is very nice. It's quite hard to acquire the major heroism, so that's definitely something I like. Why is this iPad so dim? Right, there we go. I can see what I'm doing there. Oh, the Monster Master. This is the other one, the Athenian, the Tactician. So you're going to get a line of weapon and spell damage, which is always nice. And while in combat, casting an ability that leaves an effect on the ground summons a tentacle. Oh, this is where I remember it's not that great. It's too delayed after 2 seconds. Again, why has he got a delay? Why do they keep putting delays on stuff? And this is what makes them not appealing. Again, with like the monster sets, sort of back in the day, earlier in the game, you had like Selene and Velidreth, and they're really fun sets. But I think they did nerf the Selene and gave it a delay. And then when you start putting delays on things, that's when they become not as appealing. I mean, there is an argument to be said that they're too strong, if you don't put a delay on them. But so yeah, it does a technical thing. It deals physical damage, stunning the enemy. If they're immune to stun, they take more physical damage. It's okay. It's nice. This set, what was it? The Arcade's Charity. When you cleanse a negative effect, you restore yourself or an ally 13 ult per target. It's okay. It's probably something I've never used though, because it's all sort of group stuff. I don't really play in groups much. And this Lamp Knights art set, I've been looking at this through the weeks it's been released, on the PTS, and everyone is just saying like, "What are you doing with it? What is this set about?" It's just, I don't think anyone's cracked the code on this one yet, guys. It gives you 2 lines of stamina, line of weapon and spell damage, and you gain 100,000 offensive penetration. So essentially, they might as well have just said 100% penetration. I'm looking at one sec, guys. I've got to look at what's going on the window because what is someone demolishing a car outside? No, some geezer in a van. I don't know what he's doing. He's making a bloody lot of noise. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. So the lamp Knights art. Has anyone cracked the code on this, guys? Let me know in the chat. So yeah, you gain 100,000 offensive penetration. I've been trying to work this one. It's been really racking a lot of people's brains. I don't know what it's for because it reduces. The kicker is it reduces your damage done by 46%, which is a huge amount. And I've seen people try and work out ways to sort of counter this, but no one has really come up with anything that I've seen where this set becomes viable and usable. And that is the problem with this set. It's just obviously you need some sort of damage reduction. You can't just gain 100,000 offensive penetration because essentially this makes, you don't have to put sharpened on anything. You don't need to have any sort of debuffs, such as, like penetrating debuffs on your target. So yes, it is super strong, but reducing your damage by 46%. I thought at first, oh, this might be good on a bash build, but it's not going to be good because reducing your damage done by 46, but that's just a crazy amount. There is things that can sort of offset this. You could run the shocking banner. That's going to give you 6% damage bonus. You could run the Malakath. I think it gives you like a 16% bonus. And you can stack a few things, and probably I think the closest anyone got was about 30%. So you're losing 46%, and then I think a couple of players might have managed to squeak it to about 30%. So you're still missing 16%, and you have to invest so much to try and get that back. I mean, you could run Essence Fee. I did think running Essence Fee for this, guys, would be good. Essence Thief, because that gives you a 10%. Yeah, Essence Thief, that gives you 10% damage done bonus. Then you've got Minor and Major Berserk. That would give you another 15%. I don't think they even stack anyway, which is again is a problem. And then you could run Malakath. So there are things you can do. Yeah, it's about time you buggered off, mate. I'm sure my windows are blown or something because everything just goes right through. If someone's having a chit chat outside, I can hear it. I can hear it, guys. Yeah, so that set, the Lamp Knights art set, I've seen players say they should drop the damage done, penalty 46%. I think that should be dropped to about 30 for it to even be viable. So no one's really cracked the code with this one yet. It's essentially giving you corrosive armor on the 5 piece, but at the cost of a huge damage loss, and it's just too much. So I can see this one being tweaked. I'm surprised it's not been tweaked yet. So maybe in the patch notes today, guys, we might see a tweak. So we'll move on to the next set, which is the Black Feather Flight. When you break free, you gain 100% movement speed for 7 seconds. This effect can occur once every 28 seconds, so it's got a massive downtime on it. 100% movement speed. I wonder if that goes over the cap. But again, a very niche set. Might be good if you want to get away from guards. Is that its only use? I don't know. The Right, let's go. I want to go into the Cyrodiil bits as well. See, because I've done Vengeance campaign a few times, probably about 5 or 6 times now, and I still don't know what it's all about, and it just seems really weird to me. So hopefully maybe I've missed something in here, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the Vengeance campaign in the comment section below. Just drop me a hi, just so I know the chat's working, because I don't know if it's working, because I'm the only one that's commenting. I don't know if I've got some setting where it's disabled. Who knows? So we're just going through the patch notes. Where is the Cyrodiil stuff at all? Have I missed it? Maybe it's on the other one. Have I missed it? This is just generic sort of fixes. What the hell? Have I missed the Cyrodiil thing? Sorry about this, guys. I will find it. I'm sure I'll find it. Maybe it's on this one. Ah, so this is the Vengeance one. This is the one I wanted to talk about. Right, so the Cyrodiil Champions Test, aka the Vengeance campaign. This new test of Cyrodiil is focused. I am getting chats. Gloomy, I have the Bone Man polymorph. What sets do you recommend? Um, if you're talking about the one, yeah, the Bone Man, it masks a lot of the animations and stuff. I know mechanical acuity is masked by it, and the corrosive skill. That's the only two I can think of off the top of my head that sort of disables the animations. So regarding sets, I can only think of acuity. you really just need to test some sets that you like. They give a visual cue, and then just try and see if it sort of masks it to some degree. But I appreciate the comment. But yeah, just let me know, guys. It doesn't have to be about the PTS. If you want to ask me anything in general about any builds I've made or any guides I've made, what I'm doing, where I am, then just drop it in the chat, guys. Hopefully my voice is all right as well. I think it's loud enough. It sounds loud enough. It's as loud as I can talk anyway. Um, so this new test of Cyrodiil is focused directly on reducing ability complexity in efforts to cut down on server stress. Well, yeah, they've definitely cut down the complexity without a doubt. Um, Anything you see that's enabled or disabled during the test is purely for the sake of performance and getting calculations as low as possible on the server. Well, they won't have no trouble with that because from the populations I've seen, has anyone been on the Vengeance server? Or is it only me? Because, oh, it sound okay. Appreciate that, mate. Because I don't see how they can stress test this because there's just a simple lack of players to even get into, calculations. I don't know how many calculations they're going to get, but it ain't going to be a lot. I can tell you that, guys. Um, so I can see why they're doing it, but I don't think the feedback is there. Because every time I've gone in there, there's virtually no one on the PTS. You're obviously not going to get a lot of players anyway because it is a testing server. But it's been negligible from what I've seen. Absolutely negligible amount of players on the PTS to test it. Um, what else does it say? When you enter the Vengeance during this test, you engage with the smallest footprint of ability usage we could muster while retaining your class flavour. I'd say they've done that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. For the PTS, we are testing purely functionality and not gathering data about server performance until the test goes live later in March after 45 has launched. So I suppose it's still in the implementation stages of it. So maybe there is still some hope for this Vengeance. And like I said, if it goes live in March, they might have a bit more to sort of stress test it properly. Do characters, I can probably answer some of these hopefully. Do characters, it says, we will also note these in the feedback and bug threads for the Vengeance campaign. Do characters properly zone into Cyrodiil with the Templar size stats and gear? Yes, they do. From what I've seen, there's no problem there. The characters earn XP, AP, and gold upon leaving. I don't know about that one. Do siege weapons still function with the limitations of only deploying one at a time? Yeah, I think so. Do any of your characters become corrupted if they leave Cyrodiil mid-battle, lost connection, get booted? No, I don't think there was any corruptions that I'd seen. Additional campaign vengeance notes for the PTS cycle. The new campaign vengeance is available during the PTS cycle to test functionality for a broader test. The campaign does not allow your current abilities, items, or gear to transition to Cyrodiil. That's definitely correct there. Instead, it replaces all your abilities, items. The one thing I don't get though is why everyone has 70k health. The health is far too generous, and if you do find the battle, it's just some long-winded stalemate or a very, very drawn-out battle. The player stats will be set, and they're not already. They're definitely not manipulable. Well, you can if you're the Necromancer. If you go into the Goliath, you can manipulate the health. You can manipulate the resistances. I think it's the only things you can manipulate. Everything else seems to be just flat. The recoveries, the magicka and stamina. I don't think you can fiddle with them. You're granted usable items such as siege potions and soul gems. Achievements disabled. It's just, I don't know, it's just a weird test. Hopefully, they get some positive stuff from it, especially when it goes live in March on the full update 45. But as of yet, you know, no, the jesters thing. I don't know. What do you think about it, guys? What do you think of this Vengeance thing so far? I'm not overly impressed with it at all. I can't really see they're going to get much data from it. It's not very appealing either. That's the problem with it. It's not very appealing. All they did was just change the sky and just dumb it down to an incredibly boring state, essentially. Got to love your content. Appreciate you, mate. I do all sorts of stuff. Mostly builds. I'm looking into sort of other stuff like lore stuff, secret stuff. I've got another video dropping today as well. You can no longer block the potential poison damage from the pool of poison. That's nice. So I said that could the noxious boulder. It might have some use in PvP, but the cooldown is just crazy on it. 20 seconds is just too much. Justice for the fallen. But beyond this, I don't think there's been much else PTS wise. But yeah, I might, like I said, if I do get time, because the new, I think it's in probably about an hour or two, they're going to be dropping the new patch notes. Hopefully, there's going to be some more detailed stuff. Keep the farm videos coming. Farming videos, yeah. It's hard to find newer farm video stuff. But if I do find something, then I will be posting it because I don't want to keep reposting stuff that, either I've gone over in the past or other sort of content creators. So if I find anything new or unusual, I try to find stuff that's sort of, a bit out of the box, then I'll definitely post that. So that was the 3.1, and this is the 3.2, which this is what I was waiting for last week, and I thought there was going to be some big changes, particularly with the Vengeance, and there was just, I think, virtually nothing. They just was promoting the Jubilee thing, which is nice. A new cake's always welcome. I'm missing one of the cakes, though, which does really annoy me. I don't know why I didn't get it. It's just very minor stuff, this one. I mean, during mid-cycle, they do tend to be a bit, they don't do drastic changes. They're normally at the beginning and at the end. So we're nearing the end, or hopefully nearer the end of the PTS. So we might be getting some more interesting stuff coming. Because this is very, very underwhelming, this one, but it's in mid-cycle. The Vengeance abilities, they just fiddled with a couple of the abilities. Um, but there was nothing too major on this one. It's just, yeah, just a couple of bug fixes basically and a few little tweaks here and there. But as you can see here, guys, so that was the 10.3.2, and they're performing the maintenance for patch 10.3.3. Should be today. Well, it says 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock for me. I think that is 3 o'clock UTC is for me, or might be an hour off me. I'm not sure. So we should get new patch notes very soon, guys. There's a big post about if anything of Vengeance makes it live, it will fundamentally make it unfun to play PvP. I definitely agree with that, but I don't think it's going to make it live, or if it is, it's got to be just a separate little server, separate little campaign. I can't see it being very popular at all. It's very simplified, but like I said, that might not be the purpose of it. Maybe we're just missing the bigger picture, guys. This was the post that I was in about the lamps, yeah, and people just trying to work out what it's actually for. But like I said, no one's cracked the code yet, and I certainly haven't. Like I said, I thought it'd be good on a bash build, but it's just not going to be, because bash build is primarily over damage done. So you're better off just popping corrosive and just having damage done bonuses. Uh, But yeah, like I said, the new dungeons are going to be good. I always welcome the new dungeons. It's just a shame. What do you think, guys? Why did they not make tastier sets? Normally there's something that really stands out. And you're like, damn, I'm getting that set. And like I said, last year it was tarnished, and this year, what is the new set? What's the new go-to set that everyone's going to want? And I can't see there's anything on the sets that really really stand out. What's that NPC thing? But yeah, I did notice the Reaper's Strike. That sounds quite fun. Where is the sets again? Where is the sets? I think if someone said to me, "What's the best heavy attack set they've brought out for the newer ones?" It's definitely be this Vandaloran's Resonance. It's a light attack set, so it'd be like Pen, and it's got a every 6 seconds, so that's gonna have quite a reasonable uptime. This could be useful in PvP. That's what I was thinking, like a heavy attack build in PvP could be quite interesting. It's an exploding in that sort of like a radius, which sort of what a lightning staff attack does at the end. The end ticket sort of hits other enemies, so that could work quite nice with it. So I've got a feeling this could be good in PvP on a heavy attack build. A lot of people would say that heavy attack builds are not great in PvP. They're not the best, but if they are put together properly, they can really hit the mark. I'd like to see a heavy attack PvP build with that set double burst. Yeah, I mean like that. This with I was trying to think of a set to pair with it. You could put this with on a heavy attack PvP build. I'm saying you could put Tharakas with this to boost the damage and get Major Berserk, or you could pair this with Essence Thief, or even Night Slayer. I don't use Night Slayer as much as unfortunately it's not that strong unless you're really only hitting high health targets. Probably quite effective against like a Warden healer with really high health because that's always pesky. And pesky healers, the super high health. I've done one myself. Um, yeah, this set could be quite nice. I like ones with visual animations as well. It just makes it more interesting and more fun. But again, am I desperate to get this set? I don't think I'm desperate. And the Blade Storm, that sounds quite fun with the vortex and that. Um, leaving an effect on the ground. So this could be implemented on quite a few builds. The only one I can see that can be, I don't want to use the word abused because it sounds like I'm trying to do exploits or something, but I'm not. But just trying to get full effect. That sounds better than it. Full effect is the Monster Mars, which, yeah, the School of Retribution. Because the heal scales off max health, if the heal is fairly strong, then this could be abused on a Warden. Um, gain a heal over time, but it's only for you as well. I don't know how big the damage shield can get, so that's possible. But I just wish they'd remove this minor protection on it. I don't really like that. I think they need to consolidate sets before they add more. So many to do the same thing but worse. Yeah, I mean, I think they're running out of ideas, guys. Is there too many sets in the game? Yes, there is far too many sets. Talking hundreds and hundreds of sets now. Maybe even 1,000. Maybe we've even hit the 1,000 mark. There's more sets than players, guys. And I think they released too many as well. I'd much rather if a dungeon just had 2 sets per dungeon rather than 3 and a monster. And like I said, they all seem, fairly mediocre. The Noxious Boulder will be fun though. It's going to be fun, but it's just a shame the cooldown is just so aggressive. But like I said, guys, I'm expecting the new patch notes to drop today. I might do a live on that. I'm going to quickly look at the patch notes, and if it's a big patch note, then I might do a live on it. But if it's a small patch note like the previous week, then I probably won't. If there's nothing of note, we need some stuff of note to bring this in and have a good discussion about it, guys. But I've got some more builds and stuff coming. I've got some more ideas to bring to the table. You thought I would have run out of ideas by now, but I actually haven't. I've got some more interesting stuff to drop. I'll definitely be dropping a build this week as well. Probably be with the sorcerer one I've got, or it might be the, I don't know. I've got so many going, I forget now. I'll decide what one it's going to be. I think I did do a poll, and the two that I did pick were fairly close. So I'll just drop one of them this week, maybe one or two. Who knows? But this monster set with the tentacles, I don't like. Unfortunately, it's because they got a delay, and I think the delay should be removed. If it didn't have a delay, it might be a bit better. And I think that's what ruined monster sets. They've got a delay on the animation, and there shouldn't be a delay. They should be instant, just to make them more fun again and bring them back. Because what do we see, guys, in PvP? You only ever see these sort of sets. Is he gonna let me do this? Yeah. Like, let's look at the monster sets. What website can I actually use? Can I use Wiki? That should be fine. Oh, what's that? All sets. Is that all monster sets? No, I've done it wrong. Right, so we've got the monster sets up, guys. I'll be showing you ones that are good for PvP, ones that are not great, but like basically they're the top two that have just come. It's alphabetical anyway. But obviously, you've got your Balorg. Everyone should have that by now. It's, the best monster set in the game. And Bloodspawn is followed by a very close second, probably equal. Them two are very, very good. But like I said, when you look at the new monster sets compared to these, it's like, are you really going to take off your Bloodspawn? I mean, it generates ultimate and gives you resistances. I mean, it's just crazy. That's just such a good set. I'm glad that Bloodspawn has stood the test of time because it is a base game monster set and it's still really, really good. Balorg is just really, really good just for crazy damage. Chokefawn I have used in a couple of ones. It scales off your max magicka and stamina. If this was off max health, this would be absolutely insane. Chokethorn is really good if you're a healer or just want some crazy heals. You can really keep going with that set. That's definitely an overlooked monster set. Domius is just pretty much garbage. I'm talking from PvP as well. So if I'm wrong, PvE. Earthgore I do love. I used to use it quite a lot in PvE content. I probably still do when I'm rocking my healer. I don't think it's that great in PvP now. I think it did receive a nerf. Engine Guardian, again, another brilliant set, obnoxious set. It's a base game set. So that's still a good monster set. It also gives you sustain and it's just annoying. It really frustrates players. I like using it as well. So that's a good set. Groftar for PvP, nah, you don't do enough damage. Grundwolf, uh, just a restoration set basically. I don't think it restores enough to be really viable in PvP. Iceheart, that used to be good, but I think it got a bit of a nerf. Elambris, I used to use that in PvE, but PvP probably not that great. See, a lot of them are not that great in PvP. Infernal is sort of similar. It's not great. Krog's not great. Lord Walden is sort of more of a tanking set, I think. It gives you resistances for your allies. It's not really great. The Marcelos set, I think this is the one where you're heavy attacking it. Is it when you? Oh no, it's when you're bashing enemy. No, I'm thinking of another one. More of the Infernal can be okay. That can work. It's just a shame they need to be brought up. Some of these monster sets. Mighty Tudens, it's not great. it can work on a mage sulk because you get the major resolve, but most classes have a sort of that anyway. But mage sort of suffers from bar space, so having that on can work. Molag Kina can sort of work, but they did nerf it and made it cost your abilities by 8% increase. Neraneth is fun. Neraneth is probably one of my favourite monster sets. But you just, again, has it got a delay? Again, it's got a delay. Bogdan, Pirate Skeleton. Malabeth is still okay. Selene, I think that did receive a nerf and they made the Primal Spirit have a delay on it, unfortunately. Sentinel's not too bad. Slime Craw is just rubbish. Should be maybe Major Berserk. Minor Berserk's just not good enough for a monster set anyway. There's just much better stuff to put on. Stonekeeper. It's an interesting set for PvE. A bit selfish, but okay. Stormfist I used to quite like. You don't see it as much. But again, used to be quite a nice set. Again, I think it's because of the delay it has. But yeah, it's a fun set to use and fun set to see. Swarm Mother, you normally just use the one piece of that. Symphony, I don't really know that. Heal and Ally, oh, it's a healing one, yep. Therm Scale, I think this has some use, but it's a bit niche. Reduces resistances. Thorvalken, I can't even say it. It's okay. Troll King, just gutted, no good. Valkin Scoria, it's okay, but not for PvP. Veladreth you used to see quite a bit, but again, I think they put a delay on it. Still fun, but it's easily dodgeable. Vycosa, it just lowers their weapon and spell damage. Zarn is still nice, very good, very strong for dueling. The Mother, I can't even say it, Sinate, that gives you a nice damage shield. I've used that on a few builds, that's quite good. There's actually quite a lot of sets in there. How many have we got left? Oh my god, there's loads. There's loads. The Blind. The Amphlemir's Construct is one of the better sets. I mean, when you look at this monster set, that was a really good monster set that came out last year. I use it on a lot of heavy attacking, ganking builds, and you just don't, the newer ones, new monster sets, I just can't see much appeal, unfortunately. Nibbity Bay's nice. Gerald's nice for dueling. That's going to reduce everyone's healing taken. There should be more sets like that as well. That reduce healing taken just to try and get some of this healing down. Arch Druid I do quite like. That's quite nice because when you do a heavy attack, my favourite words. But yeah, let's just jump back, see if they've put any. Oh, I should have just stayed on that. Check the forum, see if they've put anything up yet. I probably haven't yet. They're still performing the maintenance, or they will be. And we're still waiting for the 10.3.3, guys. That's what's coming. So yeah, I would, like I said, once them PTS patch notes drop, the 10.3.3, if there is, I'll read it quickly. If it's quite long and they've made a lot of different changes and stuff, and there's some real stuff to get into, then I'll do a live on that. If I see the patch notes and it's nothing too major, then I might not do a live, because like I said, if you look at the 10.3.2, there wasn't really a great deal. It was just a lot of bug fixes and nothing major. But if the new one is a bit more major, then I'll do a live on that. We can have a discussion about that, guys. Let me know your thoughts on it. I'll let you know my thoughts on it. We'll basically just do a breakdown of it all. Now that I've managed to finally work out how to do a screen share YouTube live on my phone, And I can also see the chat now. I just need another device. I don't know why it doesn't pop up, but it doesn't pop up on this. But yeah, there we go, guys. Appreciate everyone that's watched the live. I know it wasn't the best of lives. It's just because I'm getting my head around doing the screen share live. But now I know what I'm doing. I'll make the next one bigger and better. So I appreciate everyone that's tuned in. Like I said, I've got a video dropping tonight anyway, 6 p.m. UK time for me, on how to become an ESO PvP god. It's like a tips and tricks video. So be sure to look out for that, guys. And like I said, if there is a really good patch notes drop in that's interesting, I'll drop a live on that. Screen share live, guys. Come join me. But it should be out in a couple of hours, hopefully. We'll have to wait and see. So look out for that, guys. Appreciate you all. And Gloomfrost is over and out.